Welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to talk about business acquisitions with real estate in the transaction. And the first thing we got to look at is what's the purchase price of the real estate versus the business? Because we're thinking about how to structure this deal. If it's mostly real estate value in this business purchase, then probably if you're going to want long-term debt and it's not a big value add, the 504 may make the most sense. If the purchase price is greater for the business, then we can look at a lot of different options. One being a 504 for the real estate and a SBA 7A for the business. Or perhaps it just makes sense to just do it all as a 7A. So you could break these loans up. Even on a 7A, we could break up in two notes. We could have a 7A that does the business acquisition. The other note does the real estate, which is amortized up to 25 years. Because really what we're trying to do is we're trying to give you the smallest debt payment monthly that we can by amortizing for as long as we can. That's typically what everybody wants. The advantage of the 7A versus the 504 is that the prepayment penalty is only 3 years versus 10 years. So that's a big consideration. If you're doing value add, if you plan on expanding, you might not want to be stuck into a big prepayment penalty. If you do plan on staying in a long time, and the majority of the purchase is real estate, then a 504 could be the best option because remember, it's a first and a second. The second is the guaranteed piece, and that piece is, once the debenture happens, it's a 25-year fixed rate. Currently, it's hovering about 6.3, so the rates have been coming down there. Now, the senior debt on a 504 is negotiated with the bank or credit union or non-bank SBA lender. So these are all the considerations when you're doing a business acquisition with real estate component. We really got to start with what's the purchase price of the business versus the real estate. From there, we can be creative on how we're structuring this. And I can walk you through why it might make sense to do it just as a 7A or break it up into two notes, one for the real estate and one for the business. Because if the business is greater than the purchase price of the real estate, then we can't necessarily amortize over 25 years. So you see how I'm working through this. So my advice to you is book a strategy call with me. Go to bookwithbeau.com and we could walk through the deal and figure out what really makes the most sense based on what you're trying to accomplish. Remember, when you're buying a business with real estate, or you're buying real estate to move your business in, you always have to occupy at least 51% of the space for it to be eligible for SBA financing. Now, the SBA 7A loan, usually it's only one underwriting process, meaning if you work directly with a PLP lender, they're gonna underwrite in-house, and you can accomplish everything without sending the file to the SBA for underwriting. Certain lenders aren't PLPs, and they have to send it in to the SBA for a final underwrite. Now, on the 504, it's two underwriting processes. We got to underwrite it at the bank and underwrite it and package it through a CDC who sends it to the SBA for financing. So it's a little bit more of a tedious process. You can do a lot bigger transactions with the 504. But oftentimes, there's ways of structuring it. And sometimes it's just a matter of, hey, we're going to do 504 on the real estate, 7A for the business. So anyways, that's really what I wanted to talk to you about on this episode. It's a short episode today. But remember, it's a great time to be utilizing SBA, looking for businesses, whether it's with real estate or without real estate. And if you have an SBA loan right now and you're a variable rate on a 7A, it's a great time to refinance. It's all about getting a lower margin, extending the term out to another 10 years. If it's just a business with no real estate, it's a 10-year term. So anyways, go to bookwithbeau.com and I'll see you on the next episode. Hey guys, Beau Eckstein here. If you enjoyed what you saw, please subscribe to this channel. We talk all things financing. I've been in the lending industry for over 20 years, and I'm happy to answer your questions and provide great content.